Welcome to the Dental School Guide podcast, your ultimate destination for all things dentistry. I'm Dr. Tanner Townsend, your guide through the complex world of dental education. Join us as we uncover the secrets of acing dental school admissions, navigating residency programs, and exploring career opportunities. Please share and enjoy. Real quick, just wanted to make all you pre-dental students out there aware of a resource. If you've ever been worried about getting into dental school or are wanting to get into that school of your dreams, then you definitely want to check out a program called Dental School Guide. In the program, we walk you through how to save money, time, and heartache when applying to dental school. There's so much fluff out there when it comes to resources for getting into school, and we are streamlining all of that. With our comprehensive digital course, expert mentorship, and personalized application review services, you'll have everything you need to stand out to admission committees. Take advantage of this amazing resource that will help you increase your chances of getting into dental school. You'll want to check out dentalschoolguide.com. Check it out. Welcome back to the Dental School Guide podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tanner Townsend, and today we're going to be talking about the different strategies for success on the DAT. Whether you're a pre-dental student or you're just gearing up to retake the DAT, this episode is going to be packed with valuable insights to help you excel. Tip number 1. Let's start by gaining a comprehensive understanding of what the DAT is. So the DAT is a standardized test administered by the American Dental Association. There are 4 main sections of the DAT. There's a natural science section, a perceptual ability test, or the PAT, reading comprehension, and quantitative reasoning, which is math. The survey of natural science is divided into biology, general chemistry, and organic chemistry subsections. In the biology section, expect questions to cover cellular and molecular biology, genetics, anatomy, and physiology. Honestly, this is one of the toughest sections to study for because there's so many random facts that you need to memorize. This section can feel very overwhelming, and it felt very overwhelming to me. General chemistry focuses on anatomical structures, chemical bonding, chemical kinetics, and so on. Finally, OChem focuses on functional groups, reactions, and mechanisms. Moving on to the perceptual ability test. This section is going to evaluate your spatial visualization skills through various question types. The different question types are the keyhole, angle rank, cube counting, pattern folding, and spatial visualization. This section you really want to practice and pace yourself because you can run out of time on this section if you get stuck on a single question or a set. Practicing is essential to improve your performance within the spatial relationships and mental rotation that you're doing in your head. However, be careful because many students over practice this section, and it's a lot of fun to kind of practice this section. So don't over practice that section. Make sure you get it down and then move on to studying the things that matter most, like the science sections. The reading section, it's going to be focusing on reading scientific articles. It's very similar to your SAT and ACT reading sections. This is probably the section that you're most comfortable with because you're familiar with having to do that for other standardized tests that you've taken. Lastly, the quantitative reasoning test is going to evaluate your math skills and problem-solving abilities. You're going to encounter questions with arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and trigonometry, and you're going to have to practice doing those things under timed conditions. They do let you have an on-screen calculator for questions on this section, but make sure you know how to do it without it because the calculator can slow you down. So keep that in mind as you're practicing for the math section. Number 2, now that we've covered the content of the DAT, let's talk about effective study strategies and preparation timeline. You're going to want to begin by assessing your strengths and weaknesses in each section and setting realistic goals for improvement. At first, you're going to get a really low score in your PAT. That's okay. That section is one. After a few practice exams, you're going to see a huge jump in your score. And that's why we suggest you don't spend too much time over practicing it. You really want to spend your time studying on the things that matter most. And a lot of times people spend time studying the content and less time doing practice tests and practice exams. Make sure you are spending your time doing practice tests and reviewing those questions. That is going to be the very best use of your time. Number 3, utilize a variety of DAT prep materials. There are so many books, online study platforms, flashcards, and practice tests. DAT Bootcamp is one of the best out there. It has the content and the quizzes. And if you're looking for straight practice tests and examples and reviews, look at Crack the DAT. Choosing resources that align with your learning style and preferences are more, if you're more of a visual learner or videos, you need to kind of know that going in. You might want to do DAT bootcamp. If you're, hey, I'm going to do study test questions, do Crack the DAT. Number 4, managing your test anxiety and stress. Make sure you practice relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and visualization to calm your nerves before the day of the test. Establish healthy, steady life balance and prioritize self-care activities like maintaining social connections and seeking support from friends and family and mental health professionals as needed. And one of our biggest tips is don't study the night before the exam. Studies have shown that giving your brain a break the day before will help you perform better on the day of. There's nothing else you're going to cram in the night before. Just remember, it's just another test. At this point, you're a professional test taker. If you don't think you are a professional test taker, just wait till you get into dental school. You're going to have so many tests, you're not even going to know what to do. Number 5, when it comes to taking tests, make sure you are timing yourself. Familiarize yourself with the structure of the DAT, including the numbers of questions and a lot of time for each section. Practice pacing yourself during practice exams to ensure you're completing all the questions. Remember to utilize the process of elimination and educated guessing to maximize your chances of selecting the correct answer. Remember, all the questions you don't answer or get to are marked as wrong on the test. So make sure you're getting through all the questions and then coming back to the ones you got stuck on. Also, go with your first gut instinct. Usually your first gut instinct is always right. And so stick with that first choice. Number 6, as you prepare for the DAT, be mindful of common pitfalls and how to avoid them. These may include procrastination, lack of focus, and ineffective study habits, like spending too much time on content learning rather than actually practice tests and reviewing those tests. Develop a proactive approach to your studies and set specific goals for each day and week and hold yourself accountable for your progress. One of the best things we see with our students is if you have a friend or a family member hold you accountable to their plan. Send feedback from peers and instructors and DAT prep tutors to identify areas where you need to improve. Remember to treat your study like a full-time job or as if your life depends on it. If you don't get a good enough score, there's a very real chance you're not going to get into dental school for the upcoming cycle. Finally, number 7, let's discuss post-DAT considerations and next steps in the application process. Make sure you're reflecting on your performance and identify if you need to retake the test. A lot of schools have requirements that if every section has to be above a 16. That means if you have a section that was scored below a 16, you might not get in. If you have a section below a 14, you definitely need to retake the DAT. Now, if you have an academic average of a 17, make sure that you consider retaking the DAT because a 17 and below is going to not bode well for schools. Don't apply on a wing and a prayer. Save your money and retake the exam and do better your application for the next cycle if you didn't score well. Make sure that you are prepared the best you can going into that exam. But if you don't score well, that's okay. You can always retake it. And that wraps up today's podcast for the Dental School Guide podcast. I hope you found these insights helpful as you embark on your journey to mastering the DAT. Remember, with dedication, perseverance, and strategic preparation, you can achieve success on this important exam. Until next time, happy studying. That's all for today's episode of the Dental School Guide podcast. We hope you've gained valuable insights and inspiration to fuel your journey into dentistry. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more expert advice, inside tips, and engaging discussions. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. It would mean the world to us. Until next time, keep smiling, keep striving, and remember, your dental dreams are closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in to the Dental School Guide podcast.